All right, how's it going, guys? Hope you guys are having a nice weekend. We're gonna go here and evaluate what happened on Physics Tankers Incorporated in another Avoid the Bag special. Okay, so what we got here is another Greek shipping company that ended up being pumped up due to its low float. It went all the way from I believe $2 all the way to $8, or no, 9 actually. Quite a huge move in just a few hours. Um, so let's see what happened here. Essentially, it was bouncing off what I looked at was the probably I think it was about the 15 EMA. It's bouncing along there for quite some time. As you know, my strategy is to aim for the 50 EMA dips, and it just didn't happen for us. So it took a while for us to get into it, but it finally happened right here on a couple big red candles. We are actually able to get in at, I believe, like six sub sixes, something like that. And we set a stop loss, and we got pumped up a couple pennies, but essentially stopped us out. I was just looking for a bit of a reversal play here, but it wasn't. Did not happen, so I let it go after that. But for those who didn't, this thing just ended up being a very, very bad pump and dump. Um, yeah, there was no room to run. I mean, it dropped well below the 50, all the way down into the 100 EMA area, and that bounce right there. Uh, the fact that it didn't bounce at all just meant that there were no buyers. Um, all the buyers had gone, and bears would have picked up momentum fairly quickly after that, as you can see right here on the 50 EMA, 200 EMA cross downwards. It just continued to fall. If you did buy up there, nice double down point would have been right under the 250. If you did that, your average would have been right here in the middle somewhere. Still not very good considering it didn't get back up there at all. So it did drop from a high of 9 to a low of, I believe it was 360. Yeah, it was 360. High 9, 360. That's a $6 spread here. So for those wondering, shorts did not cover whatsoever on this. Not yet, anyways. There was a little bit of a cover here from 360 to 415, 404, and then it actually went up as high as 480 in the after hours, um, which would have been a good place to get out. But if you were stuck on here, I would have doubled down on the 250, and then the $4 floor, which is where it started to pick up on scanners. That held for a while. That was a nice double down point as well. If you were able to do it, I would have had your average somewhere along here, right in the middle there. Um, but the point being, uh, if you are stuck on a play like this, it is best to try to keep your average below the 50 line, because most of the time it tests the 50 EMA line, it'll pop over and come back down. But when your trade's going the wrong direction, you don't want to force a trade. So you always got to try to keep your average well below, if not at the 50 EMA line, right around there. And as you can see, by the end of the day, it actually popped over the 50 EMA, and that was within the last 5 minutes before close. That would have been a nice place to get out if you were stuck in there. But it did get as low as 460. And for those who held, I hope Monday people don't forget about it, because, I mean, if there's another play, day traders will move on and they will play the other stock. This just had absolutely no bull strength to it. The fact that it dropped from 9 to 3 with a $6 spread, um, with absolutely no short cover. And this big green candle could have been a little bit of a short cover, but it was very minimal. It was about a 10 or 15 cent cover. So bears were just on this, and the bulls just had no buying power left, or anyone who did want to buy was just scalping at this point because this is where most of the bulls had strength. And yeah, I mean that's what low floaters are. Low floaters, they can have control. One side can have momentum and control for the whole time, and then they'll give it up. And there's just after that, you just got to play the trend, and the trend was going downwards. And for those who couldn't double down, I'd be very surprised if it opened, or if it even went up as high as 5 by Monday. Uh, Fortunately, we did get stopped out after our initial buy-in up here, and I just wanted to play it to see if I could time that dip and it would continue to climb from just hype, but it clearly did not do so. So yeah, once again, if you're stuck in a play like these, it's fairly important to be able to scale in the position so that you can double down and work on an average if a trade is not going your way. And once again, it's very important to look out for the 50 and the 100 cross, and to, if that happens, to always try to keep your average under the 50 EMA. See right here, it was you would be able to get out not with a profit, but at least you would have been able to break even. So that's what I usually try to do is if a trade is going south, just keep your average under the 50 EMA. Uh, Save money, save buying power to be able to double down and remember key resistances or key supports are usually whole numbers. So stick to the three, like the 50 cent or whole number execution points, such as the 450, the $3 or the $4, the 360. Uh, but unfortunately, this is just another one of those Greek low floating shipping companies that are just so very popular with the pump because once they start the ball and it gets rolling, uh, everyone wants to hop in. And then if you don't have a stop loss, I'm sure this was just a huge stop loss trigger. People buying in the fours and in the fives and the sixes, they had stop losses, and since it was such a low float, it just kept cascading downwards with absolutely no bounce back. But for those who are holding over the weekend, don't expect this kind of move again because the market tends to just choose its winners and losers. And if there is another winner by the pre-market Monday, day traders are going to forget about this play and they're going to move on. It might just be another Greek shipping company that they hop onto, but yeah, important thing to learn from this: keep your eye on the 50 cross, continue to double down, keep your average below the 50 EMA, and when it pops over, sell out. All right. Hopefully, you guys traded safely this week, and we will see you next week for better plays, and hopefully, we can get a nice little runner.